Hello YouTube artist, I'm Kelly Hernick and welcome to In the Studio. Today is a collaboration of Deep Deep Light and Lily Moon. I cannot wait to share this beautiful palette with you. Let's go paint. I wanted to share the Rainy Day palette with you. It is a collaboration with Deep Deep Light and Lily Moon. Lily Moon has a channel here on YouTube, and I suggest that you just go subscribe now because her artwork is beautiful. And the Rainy Day is the smaller set of her Whispered Season, which is all inspired by fall colors. I have a handmade journal here with Fabriano 90-pound cold press watercolor paper in it. I found a wonderful lady off of Etsy. Her name is Deanna, and she makes handmade journals. So if you're looking for one, she uses old book covers. She has multiple sizes. She uses Arches and Fabriano, really high quality paper, and they're beautifully made. This is my favorite watercolor palette. I love it because of the individual color mixes that we can make here. It's got a little bitty palette here, but on the back side is a big 4 quad if you want to make mixes that way. Today I'm going to use puddles because I'm going to show you how I'm going to be mixing. We're going to be playing with some colors. And then I am using the Princeton Aqua Elite Long Round number 8. This is my favorite brush. I use this for my Artful Advent if you took that class. And pretty much anything you've seen after that, I've been using this brush. And then these are the 8 colors we're going to be experiencing today. And I've got them all swatched out for you. How I made this was I cut a template out of a manila folder, and I placed it this way so the edge was here, the top was up here so I didn't have to think about it, and I just took a pencil and made the squares, and then I flipped it over this way and made the next squares. I like to do something like this. It just keeps my book looking uniform, and I like them to look more uniform than more playful. And then I have 9 little squares in here. We're going to mix and match and see what we like. And then on this page with our mixes, I'm going to paint a set of leaves and a little bitty charm that I found. So it goes under like that, and it's going to be a charming little kind of vignette. These are the colors of her palette. This is the Rainy Day palette. So this is Dark Umbra, Bent Grass, Solstice Fern, Ancient Red, Wood Cow Wheat, Indigo, the France version. When you buy an indigo, they ask you which indigo you prefer. There's a bunch of different indigos. I bought the French one. Prickly Pear and Asphalt. Now I can tell you that Solstice Fern and Prickly Pear definitely separate into 2 different colors, and a little bit of Asphalt here does too. So this has like a yellow green and a brighter green. This is kind of a peach purple and brown kind of mixture, and then Asphalt has this more violet kind of, think of a violet black. It reminds me of soft black and Deco Art acrylics. That was one of my favorite colors, so I'm happy to find that in a watercolor. And here I just have 9 boxes drawn. Let me bring that closer so you can see that. So see the 9 boxes? And what I'm going to do with that is I really want to experiment with the Ancient Red color. I love the Bent Grass, but because it was inspired by fall, I thought I would try the Ancient Red and then give my leaves kind of a reddish cast. When using the Deep Deep Light watercolors, they suggest that you dot them with water to wake them up. It doesn't mean flood them, it just means a little dot of water will do it. And I wanted to tell you, if you buy any handmade watercolors, sometimes they're sticky. Like this Wood Cow Wheat is kind of a sticky color, and so the parchment that she had on it was sticking. If you put them in the freezer for about 5 minutes and then bring them out, the parchment paper peels right off of them without problem. So just remember that. Okay, this one is the Ancient Red that I'm going to be mixing with everything. So what I'm going to do is just build up the Ancient Red so that I don't have to do that all the time. So I've got 8 piles here, and I'm going to use this one as my main dipping pile. So if I need to add any more of this Ancient Red, that's the pile that I'll go to. I want to fill in the exact center with this color because that's the one I'm going to be adding to all of the other colors. I am going to splash these. To splash, I just dip in 3 fingers and then kind of flick the middle like this, and the rest of them go everywhere. I will be splashing consistently, you just won't see me splash. So I am going to be mixing 4 colors with this because that's how you fill the corners here, and I'll show you how that works. So I'm going to do bent grass. I want to do the solstice fern to just see. I want to do the indigo France, and I want to do this one, the wood cow wheat. Because remember, I'm trying to get fall colors, so I don't want to go too dark. I like those darker, and I know I can always add those if I want. So how this works is I'm going to go into my bent grass, and I'm going to fill this square with bent grass. The 4 outer corners are going to be where I place mixing colors. And I made my colors kind of big because I haven't worked with this palette, so I thought it would be fun to have really nice big squares for myself. Okay, so then I'm going to use bent grass, and I'm going to come over to my mixing area, and that's going to fill in this area. So this plus this equals this. Now I want it to kind of remain on the reddish side. It's really pretty. It's kind of like a red orange. I'm going to dip a little bit more red into it. Okay, I'm happy with that mix. See how it's different than that. So I'm checking it on my paper, and that's a nice mix. It's like in between the 2 of them, but it's still on that ancient red side. Still leans to the orange. Now the next one I'm going to mix is the solstice fern, which is this bright green here. Now I want you to remember red and green are complements, so they might gray each other, and you can see I'm getting a really ugly green here, a gray green. It's pretty though, for me it's pretty. So I'm dipping into a little bit more of the ancient red. And you saw what I forgot to do, right? That square right there needs to be solstice fern. But because I've already got this mix going, I'm going to put it here. Really nice color. Okay, I'm going to go into that solstice fern now and just put it up here. Okay, the next color that I want to mix is this wood cow wheat. Such a strange name, but I love the color. And that was the sticky one out of the wrapper. Okay, with the wood cow wheat, I'm going to mix it into this one up here. And it's a much weaker color, so I'm going to have to add quite a bit of this one in there. That ancient red is much stronger. Okay, that looks like a beautiful mix there. Wow, let's see. Yep. It's the mix between that one and that one. So I'm looking for something in between the 2. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this one, which was the mix of these 2, oh my gosh, it's separating so pretty. It's beautiful. The next one I'm going to do is Indigo France variety. Okay, blue is a dark color, so I got to be careful mixing this one. See how it just darkened that? Let's see if that's pretty. Yeah, that's a nice color. So that looks pretty nice. I'm really happy with that. Now for the other colors here, because I have 4 more piles, right? Well, 3 more piles. I want to look at a color that I really liked. I liked these two mixed together, so I want to do another variation of that one. So that was the Solstice Green. So I'm going to go less green this time. A little more on the reddish side. Okay, that looks nice. And I want to try to do a darker version of the indigo. Oh yeah, that's pretty. It's nice and rich. And then I wanted to add a little bit more of the bent grass. Okay, so this is the pile of the first one, and that's the pile of the second one. That looks nice. Can you believe these colors? Oh my gosh, are they beautiful? So here's what I did. From this main square, I made a line to each of the 4 corners. So I put a line here, a line here, a line here, and a line here, and then added a plus sign. So this plus this, and then I made a curved line from this color to this. So it just curves over, and there's an equal sign. So this one plus this one curves over, and it's an equal sign. This one plus this one curves over, and there's an equal sign. This one plus this one curves over, and there's an equal sign. So it lets you see that these two made this, these two made this, these two made this, these two made this. It's just a fun way to do it. So do you see my little plus signs and my equal signs there? So now we're ready for our leaves. These are what I'm basing the leaf colors on because those are the mixes that we have in our palette right now. I'm gonna make sure you can see the palette. I've got the palette of colors next to me here because I know I want to start off with just some plain bent grass for this little bitty guy right here. When I'm working in watercolor, I can tell you that I dab a lot like this to get different values. I don't like to just sweep all the way around. I feel it kind of flattens the colors. So I'm going to touch a little bit of the original ancient red in there, just to dirty up the color a little. I will be splashing these. It needs to be a little drier than what it is. Let's have some fun. When you're mixing too, don't just do the leaf, that mix, right? So try to add multiple colors, and you'll see in a minute. And by laying your brush down like that, there is water here. So you can see I'm getting a lighter tone, or else you can just take your brush into water and smear it out like that. And it helps lighten the tone. I need to add a little bit more of the ancient red to this little pile here. And I should have done that before it starts drying here. There we go. Just going to take some water now on my brush and let's lighten the tones here. I like when you have hard and soft edges or lost and found edges. So what that means is right now this is kind of a lost edge. See that you're losing the edge, it kind of blends in with the white of the paper. I really like that. Where this is a harder edge, take some of that red and dip in there. Okay, I need to splash. And I actually like when the water splashes outside. If that bothers you, you can always wipe it up, but I like that. Okay, let's go into that pink now. What was that called? The wood cow wheat and that mixture. I want to see if I want to kind of blend these two into one another. I'm going to lay my brush down and get some water going here. I'm letting them touch. I'm not forcing the issue, but if they want to run into one another, they can. I'm going to touch a little bit more of that in there. I'm going to add some of that new bent grass mixture that we had. Oh yeah, that's a pretty one. See, I'm kind of mingling it in and around. Rinsing my brush, just water now. Again, I want to try to get a lost edge on this side. Sorry about that, I should have had this pulled down for you. There you go. So this isn't as lost as I want it, so I'm just going to blot my finger right there along that edge, and I am going to splash. I don't know if you can see the separation happening in there. It's very pretty. I'm going to take just some of that red and dip some in here. I like these two. Let's merge those just a little. You have more interest if you keep doing that. So I'm going to start with the ancient red. And I want to add that indigo color. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty. Notice that I brought a dark one down here because I want to start drawing your attention to this charm. So up here they're kind of lighter. Around this charm though, I'm making them darker for a reason so that it attracts your attention. Okay, I have a lot of paint on that one. It's going to have to sit before I splash it. Otherwise, it will just wash it right out. all three of those are converging and pointing that way. I don't want it to be so different, right? I do want it to fit into the stem. So that's prickly pear here by itself. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the ancient red to it. See how it just reddened it up a little bit? Made it a little warmer. Okay, that looks really, really nice dried. And I'm going to now add some just plain prickly pear, really kind of concentrated, not a lot of water on my brush. For just the darks. And there are my leaves and the term. So let me bring you up close so you can see all the beautiful colors and all the beautiful texture. Look at that. Are you seeing the separation here? That's the prickly pear in that. This is a little bit of the green one in that one. This dark one here is the indigo. And this is my rainy day experiment where I got to play with the palette here, do some color mix studies, and then apply it to an item. These feel very fall, which was the intention of the set. So I'm intrigued by all of the colors here. And you can see what the lost and found edges did. I hope you can see that. See how it kind of intrigues your interest. It's softer here, but then you've got that nice hard edge. It's really soft right in there, but then it's got the hard edge. It's softer over here. I like when you have lost and found edges, it just makes artwork a little more well-rounded, but instead of having everything all the same, because it gives you a little chance to breathe. You're like, oh wow, that's so hard. Ah, you gotta come out of it. Again, that's a nice dark spot, but then you're coming out to breathe, and it just lets you kind of go around gracefully, I think. So if you were inspired by today's project, please let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching.